It's official, my Hockey Hat Pack peeps. The losing streak is over! Woo! All right, it is time for another post-game report. Let's get it going. Boom.
Let's do it.
I need some arms in the air. I need some noise.
All right, it is time to bring it on. That's right, my peeps. It is time to bring it on down to the Hockey Hat Shack. We've won a game, and we did it in a great way. Man, am I happy to do this Islanders hockey post-game report. All right, let's get things out of the way, but don't worry, they're good things. They're good things. You need to hear these things, but let's get them moving right away. You want to check out the HKYhatpack.blogspot.ca, where you can get all your information on me, but more importantly, the Charlottetown Islanders. You can even click through to their website. You can also follow me on Twitter at HKYhatguy. You can also check out our fan page. That's right, on Facebook. It is the Hockey Hat Pack. We want you to like us. We actually want you to love us, but there's no love thing no little heart or anything you can click on. There's just a little thumbs up. That's good enough. We just want you to like us. So click on that like. We want likes, lots of likes. Also, we got a YouTube channel. That's right, the Hockey Hat Guy YouTube channel. Get on there. Subscribe, if you please. All right, we are going to get to the pregame stats finders. That's right, there are a lot of places that can set you up for the games. And one of the places is it is a website, IslandersGameDay.blogspot.ca. That's right, where the Noman drops all the stats to get you 100% prepared on game day. And now on Twitter, though, we got 3 on Twitter at Islanders Game Day. That's right, at Islanders GM Day. Check it out. It also will set you up ready to go for the game that night or afternoon. Check out at Jonathan_Dunphy. He has the stats. Doesn't have to be on game day. It could be before, after, all through the week. Check out his Twitter page. Check out his Twitter feed. Follow him on Twitter. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. And of course, at Islanders Hockey, Islanders HKY. That's right, is the official Twitter account of the Charlottetown Islanders. All right. We have gotten the good stuff out of the way, but we got to get down to the meat and potatoes of this show. That's right, people. It is time for the report. Okay, as we always do here on the report, we are going to get to the lowlights because we want to get those things out of the way, get the negatives out of the way. And you know what? There weren't many tonight. I can't even think of any. Next to none is exactly what I wrote down. It was a great game. It was a great turnaround of a game. The team was actually down 2-0 in the first period. It really seemed like nothing was going on. But Captain Jack, this was the first game that I saw Captain Jack hit guys, try to get goals. He actually did get a goal. Not the first game he ever did it, but it was the first time he did it, and everyone followed his lead. Everyone got on board. They followed Captain Jack out to sea, or in this case, on the ice, to try to score goals. and hit hard and skate well and pass well. Oh, what a game. It was such a sweet team effort. And that, of course, is a highlight right there. The great team play. It was night and day from the last game. That was in Moncton. I saw that game, and they were down 3-0 after 5 minutes. They weren't going to win that game, even though there were times they tried to turn around. But this game was the team that we saw in the first few games during that big winning streak that started us off the season, that we were just scoring like crazy. We were making passes like crazy, and everything seemed to be going right. But this really seemed great. The goaltending was solid. Bebo was in net. And when we needed Bebo, he was there, like usual. And one thing I have to also mention is that the defense core, which I've been watching lately, that I haven't thought that they've been playing up to par. I thought to the ability that they can play. And I must say, they were all firing tonight. Every defenseman was playing great, skating great, willing to take chances. Graves was just moving like no tomorrow. He was taking chances, but he was getting backed up by Leduc, which was great. It was a great pairing, Graves and Leduc. I really liked that pairing. But the one thing that stands out is that super line that Gordy Dwyer, our coach, put together. The Nevins, Cobalt, Goulet line, which was scoring like mad tonight. Oh, was it beautiful. And it's been a while since we've seen a line click like this one. It was really, really flying high, and I really enjoyed it. But the other thing I also enjoyed about this is that this is the first ever post-game report that I've ever done that the team won. I never realized this. This is the 7th one I've done. All 6 up until now have been losing efforts. So I'm glad that it's not me. I'm not the bad luck. All right. Well, the final stats of this game were, the Titan were out shooting us big time throughout the entire game. The final shots were 45-28. But they weren't a lot of high quality shots. They really were not. But there were some challenging ones at times, and Bebo was there. We win this game 5-3 in Acadie Bathurst, and boy does it feel good. But now it is time it is time to announce the freaking soldier of the game. That's right. That's my player of the game. And my player of the game, this was tough. Oh, wow. This was tough. In the last few games, it's been tough to pick one because you're trying to find the good from the bad. But in this case, it was the exact opposite. You are trying to find, the good from the good. I guess is what it is. Maybe it's not the opposite, but it's like finding the good from the good. Everyone was playing good. There are so many candidates for freaking soldier of the game. Nevins, Goulet, Pepin, who, by the way, was skating very hard tonight. He was skating very hard, and he got kind of a fluky goal, but he charged that net. And that's exactly what he needs to do, is just charge, because that is a big dude, and he can really just drive it right to the net, man. Drive it to the net, Peps. And it paid off. It paid off for you. But my freaking soldier of the night is the newcomer, Spencer Cobalt, who actually got his first points of the season as a Charlottetown Islanders. He was skating like mad tonight. I'll tell you, if you would have told me that he was number 11, I would have believed you, because he was flying around the ice like Sprong. And it was a beautiful sight to see, especially seeing the team just signed him. The new guys have really paid off. DePaulo had a great fight tonight. And Spencer Cobalt, he is the freaking soldier of the night. He is that player of the game. He is the player of the game for sure. Anyway, all good. But there's not all good, people. We found out something today that wasn't good for our team. But The only way we're going to look at it is we got to do something. We got to take this hat off. We got to go deep inside this hat. That's right, folks. It's time for Inside the Hockey Hat. All right, we're inside the Hockey Hat, and we're going to talk about Troy Vance's 6-game suspension for an alleged knee-to-knee hit in the Moncton game on Sunday afternoon. Before we get into it, let's take a look at it right now. Let's call it up, and we will take a look at it. Okay, the play starts out where the Moncton player will get the puck in his own zone, pass it off the boards. All right, and then here comes Vance skating towards the player, and boom, there's the hit right there. And it caused some serious damage to this Moncton player, who definitely took a hardcore brunt knee to knee. Now here's a different angle. It looks more of a hit, but watch it from this angle right here, from the other side of the arena. Skating down, here it comes, down at the bottom of your screen, boom. Now right there, does it look like he's trying to knee him or trying to check him and the knees happen to hit? That is my question. All right, let us take a look at some tweets I got. I threw it out there because there's been a lot of people really upset that Troy Vance, who has had no track record in playing dirty like this, is getting this suspension. So, and it's a 6-game suspension. It's not like he's getting a 1-game, 2-game, even 3. He's getting 6-game suspension. I threw the question out, is this a fair call? Well, I got mixed reviews. Brian Willett at the Brian Willett. He's the dude that runs the Acadie Bathurst Titan Live. He does a lot of stuff there up in the Titan land. And he tweeted me at HKYhatguy. This is where knees are legal. He showed me a YouTube clip of an MMA fight. A guy gets labeled by a hardcore knee right to the head. And he says, this is where knees are legal, not in hockey. All right, that's one side of it. I got a couple more tweets that I'd like to bring up. That is the flip side. This is a tweet from Andrew, and he is at capital M, capital C, AMAC 55, Micamac 55. And it says, at HKYhatguy, I think that 6 games is a little too extreme. I've seen other hits that were much worse that end up with the player getting a game. Okay. And Maverick, and he is at capital J Dog 1719, says, at HKYhatguy, that is a bad decision by the league, man, and the organization should appeal it. Talk about growing closer. They should show it. So I found that more people, now let's face it, the HKYhatguy are mostly Islanders fans, understandably. And sometimes fans get, understandably biased. Sometimes they don't even mean to do it. Because when you follow a team, you really get entrenched into entrenched into their wins and their losses, and you start to, become familiar with the players, coaches, whatever. And especially if you're going live, you really get that connection of being there when it's happened, not just watching it on television. So that sometimes happens, but this is where I stand with it. I totally understand what Brian's saying, where a knee-to-knee hit is not legal. But the one thing that I see with this hit is that I really don't believe Troy was going for a knee-to-knee hit. It was not intentional. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't get anything, okay? But the problem I have is when things like this come up, the player gets injured and is going to be out for a long time. I do not like when they give you a suspension based on how injured that player is. Now, of course, they don't say that. They talk about it, and they make points of this person swiveling this way. For example, that the Moncton player was exposed. He exposed himself. Not in the way you're thinking, you dirty dogs. I'm saying that he kind of turned and he was exposed. He was not able to defend himself from a hit. But he was the one that did that. And Vance hit him. Vance was going for a body check. It happened that their knees hit. Now, my question would have been, what would happen if Troy Vance, his knee got damaged, and he was the one throwing the hit? It just happened to turn around that way. Would the other guy get the 6-game suspension? I don't know. I'm not saying he wouldn't. But what I don't understand is why can't there just be a set rule? Like if there's a knee-to-knee hit, automatic this amount of games. Not looking at the injuries. Not looking any of the injuries. Or somehow looking at the intent. Now, I know a lot of people out there might say the intent. How can you get in someone's mind? We can't get into Troy Vance's mind and find out what the intent was. Well, of course we can't. But his track record shows he wouldn't do this. And the way it looks is that he was going for a full-on body check. He saw an opening. This is hockey we're talking about. This is a contact sport. He was going for a body check, and the knees happened to hit. That's what it looks like. Now, we'll never know what the truth is. We can't, like I said, we can't go into Troy Vance's mind, but we need to either be strict and straight up on the rules, or, well, this is the or, I guess. I guess they judge it on call to call, and sometimes it's fair, and sometimes it's not. And like Brian Willett said, it doesn't matter. It's a knee-to-knee hit. It should be an automatic suspension. I think if they're going to give it a number and everyone falls under that same number, then fine. But until that time comes, I think a call like this needs to be looked at. I think the track record needs to be looked at. And, I just think it's one of those situations where there needs to be more discretion, And Troy, should he walked away from it? Should he have walked away from it? I'm not saying that. But I'm saying 6 games is a tad extreme. All right. Oh, and to the Moncton hockey player that got hurt, I hope they get well soon enough. And, yeah. That's about it. That's the end of the hockey hat is empty. It is time to get to some closing information. That's right. Well, let's start with the next game. Next game is November 9th at the East Link Center. That's right. The boys are coming home for a 4-game stretch. Oh, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I got the salt water ready to go, man. I'm going to gargle that stuff before the game, after the game. If I could, I would do it during the game. But anyway, they are coming back home to the East Link Center against the Olympique. That's right. But keep in mind here, I'm glad we won this game tonight. We won it in a decided fashion, but we need to be taking that momentum that we got from tonight back to East Link Center, because the Olympique are ranked 10th in the CHL, 4th in the Q. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's also a challenge that, hey, I think that we can handle. We are a great hockey team. We got the talent, and we proved it tonight. It's not like Acadie Bathurst was sitting down and taking it. In that first period, they were up 2-0. They were skating hard. I gotta give them their due. They were skating hard. They were passing well. And the Islanders just turned it around. Captain Jack led the way. There were a couple fights, and next thing you know, we took over that game. So that's how we got to play. We've got to play that. Guys, keep watching this game. Watch it again. Watch it tomorrow. There's so many good things you can take out of this game. And, if you saw it, then you got a treat tonight. All right, let's go to the tweet of the night. That's right, tweet of the night. Speaking of Mr. Brian Willett, the Brian Willett, at the Brian Willett on Twitter. the guy that runs T-Tan Live. That's right. T-Tan Live is our tweet of the night. It is at capital A, capital B, T-Tan Live on Twitter. And he sent me a picture. Yes. But what was said before I put the picture up, these two hashtag Islanders fans trump at HKYhatguy tonight. And you got the little smiley face thing after there, little smiley face emoticon. And hey, I loved it. I loved that tweet because he is absolutely right. They have me beat because they made the trip up to Acadie Bathurst. True fans, true fans. I don't know your name, but here's your picture right now. Great. I love it. They are smiling. They are ready. I'm glad that they made the trip up and they saw a big victory. I'm also curious. I was sitting in section 23 in Moncton, and I think I saw them there in Moncton as well. I could be wrong, but if either of you are on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, let me know who you are. And hey, even though I don't know who you are, it's even though this is tweet of the night, hockey hat coming off to you, you fine couple and great Islanders fans. All right, let's get to the shout outs. That's right. The shout out tonight actually is going to go to Deverick Otterize. That's right. At Bazooka Moose on Twitter. You know who he is, number 24. And on why is he the shout out? This is why he's the shout out, because he has been named the Q Scholastic Player of the Month. That's right, folks. He's high flying on the ice and a smart guy too. That is a combination you just can't beat. So the hockey hat, Deverick, is off to you, sir. Moose! Good job there, bud. All right. I think you know what time it is. Oh, I hate parting is such sweet sorrows, but that's all right because we won tonight. Woo-hoo. All right. So, baby, dolls, everyone out there, dude and dude sessies, of course, my hockey hat pack peaks, everybody on the East Coast. I'm in such a good mood tonight. I don't even know if I'll sleep. All right. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice and don't get stuck.